Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? If you can give me a quick mic check, I'd appreciate that. I have a lot to cover today. So, if y'all didn't notice, I didn't go live last week. I got stuck in an area with no service. I was barely able to cancel the stream. So, like I said, I do have a lot to cover today. I'm assuming you all can hear me. Nobody's complaining that I'm on mute. So, quick overview of what I want to talk about today. I am going to be talking about the roundtable they had. I want to cover some of the things I want to talk about on that. I want to talk about the hero cooldown, the voting system, some upgrades, and mostly I want to talk about my predictions and game adoption. So, I would like to start out with a quick shout out to Mr. Winston Jazz Hands. So he's been producing some really good videos. My question is, why does he only have 37 subs? Come on, guys. This is Winston Jazz Hands. I mean, how do you not support him? How do you not go subscribe to his channel? He's got some really good videos covering some hunts and different stuff like that. So if you guys get time, go ahead and go check out his channel, go sub to his channel. I did post his link to his channel in my description, so if you get a chance, you're good. So thanks, Mega, for the mic check. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and give people a quick shout out here. We got Mega in the chat. We got Mike in the chat. How you guys doing? So again, go sub to Winston Jazz Hands YouTube channel. Let's get him some love. Next topic I want to talk about is Donate Live. Real big there on my screen. If you guys are not aware of Donate Live, it's a donation platform where you can donate to your favorite streamers, and you can also get airdrops. And speaking of airdrops, right now, if you use the link pinned to the chat, you can go in and claim 100 totems through the airdrop. Use the word Zan as your keyword. Now, totems are not part of DFK. It is part of Dragon Masters. And if you don't know what Dragon Masters is, I do have some streams you guys can go check out and learn a little bit about it. Or you can just DM me and I can help walk you through some different things. So, don't want to go too much on that, except for I did want to show you guys one quick thing. If you go in here to the leaderboard, I got knocked off my throne. I am no longer in first. I got kicked down here to second. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to Donate Live. It's a great platform. And let me go ahead and open this up. I will be watching for donations throughout the stream. And if anyone hasn't heard, this will be probably a longer stream today. I hope you guys got some time to listen to everything I have to talk about. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so that's airdrops, round table. So voting. Well, y'all pretty much know I don't really care about the whole voting thing. So we will kind of leave the voting alone. I did vote. It's kind of cool. You know, what happened here? How come this stuff's out of order? Sorry, guys. Let me figure this out real quick. I got some notes on here. So votes. Who cares? Oh, okay. Oh, the voting on the raffle system. I think that'll be kind of cool. The raffle system, I am excited about all that. That sorry, the raffle system, I think it's going to be cool if they get rid of those 15-minute raffles and concentrate more on the bigger raffles. Those 15-minute, those smaller raffles just really weren't worth a whole lot. So, like I said, that's one I'm excited to vote on. And then, oh yeah, guys, with the donate live thing, I did want to tell you guys something real quick with that. I forgot about that. So, on the airdrops, so now the airdrops, you can only claim once. So if you claimed it during my live stream this morning, you won't be able to claim it this evening, and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. Now, I have been working with Two Noobs, and he's going to refresh it every week where you can get those weekly raffle or those weekly airdrops from watching my streams. And then I also wanted to talk about what I got going on here. So I got out of order there real quick. So I'm going to be doing weekly, or not weekly, monthly giveaways based on donations. So if you see on the screen there, I'm going to start each one of these pots out with a certain amount of items in there. And then everything you guys donate will go into the pool. And then if you donate, like let's say you donate 1,000 gold to me through Donate Live, you will be entered to win that pot. Now that pot will consist of what I put in there plus 50% of everything you guys put in there. That other 50% goes towards funding different giveaways and stuff like that. And if you look at towards the end there where it's got the weighted, I got to open that up. I can't see it on that small screen. So the total, I got it written down as divided by. So each time, like we'll use Jewel. If you donate 1 Jewel, that counts for 1 entry. Same thing with Matic. If you donate 1 Matic, that counts as 1 entry. Gold. So if you donate 5,000 gold, it gets divided by 1,000, and that makes it for 5 entries. And then you can see the different weights all the way down there. So now that will be automatic because every time you donate, I get your guys' IP address. So I will just run the giveaway at the end, at probably the first of every month, and I'll probably do that on my live stream, and then you guys can all see who won it. So it's a good way to give back through donate, and also a good way to promote donate for people to start using. I really want to do everything I can to pump that product. So how's it going, Kupo? Glad to see you in here. So if you guys get a chance, go ahead and donate. And if you guys are watching this on the replay, just so you guys know, you can donate on the replays. You just don't get those extra points for watching it live, but it will get you your entry. So, hey, Tavern Tales, how's it going? So that's that giveaway, and I'll show you guys more as time goes on, and we'll see how those pools fill up. Hopefully they fill up pretty good and we get some good stuff for you guys. So, all right. So next I got on the list. Oh, do you guys got any questions on that first before I move on? So go ahead and get those out there as I start to talk about the next topic on the list. And that's hero cooldown. Now, I kind of can go any way you want on the hero cooldown. The main reason I say that is because, first, I don't have no Gen Zeros, but I have enough summons left on all my other heroes to where you could put a pretty serious cooldown on there, and it's really not going to affect how quick or how slow I would summon heroes. So for me, it would make no difference at all. I don't it's hard for me because I just really don't know how to go about that. How, what to think about the whole hero cooldown. I fully trust the team, and if the team's saying there's going to be a problem, there's going to be a problem. So when I voted, I did vote for it, but I voted it for the smaller of the options, the least adjustment, because I think the new burn mechanic is going to help out a lot. And I'll kind of get a little more into that when I get to that part of it. But that's kind of my thoughts on the hero cooldown. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that. But let's see. Do I got any other notes in there? No. Okay, so let's go into the hero burn. So first part of that I want to talk about is the hero burn, the lore behind it. Now, how awesome is it that they actually created some lore behind the hero burn? That's really cool. I love that. I know we're all asking for more lore in the game, and it would be nice to get more lore in the game. But, they talked about it a little bit, and it kind of opened my mind up a little bit to why there is not so much lore. We got quite a bit of lore based on how much game we have. And I think the more they develop the game, the more lore we are going to end up getting. So that will be cool. I can't wait to see how they develop that out. And then what's next? Oh yeah, next I wanted to show this. Where is that? Oh, I had it up here. So I just want to say I kind of predicted something.
So today, my random thought.
You guys hear that?
I think this is a wild, crazy, out there random thought, but at the same time, I think it would just be cooler and crap to have the DFK team implement something similar to this. So let's get into this random thought. So I've heard on a few other podcasts out there people talking about burning heroes to come up with a way to revive heroes that died. Or wait, heroes can't die. Well, I think they should have some epic battles where heroes can die. Now, what these battles would be, I don't know. Some crazy boss fight where you can get some really epic loot, maybe some serious PvP action going on, some world PvP. I could just see a lot of things where they could implement in this game to where heroes will die. Now, another thing I've heard mentioned in a few other discords, and this will tie in if you hang on to the end, going back and redoing your stats. Like, let's say your hero leveled up and you really just didn't like the way they leveled up. Let's be honest, right now, most of the heroes out there have been leveled up based on speculation. So a lot of these levels just aren't that good. So now I know you're thinking, well, we can just put two together, mash them together, and throw them in the meditation circle, or not the meditation circle, the dark summoning pit, and we can restart their stats that way. Well, yeah, you're correct. That would be a good way to do it, but you're not guaranteed to get the same one back. Let's say you got a mythic Dread Knight that you just really don't want to have to risk throwing in the pit to end up coming up with something like a pirate or something. Not sure if that's even possible, but let's just say it happens. Well, that's a high risk. Well, what if you could just take and wipe all their level ups and start over? That'd be kind of cool. So my thought on this, I think it would be cool. Let's just start with the beginning of what you do. So let's add this to, let's say another realm. Let's just use Klaytn or one of the other realms that we're going to have. Instead of a dark summoning pit, you have a hero burn pit. I don't know what you would call it. The devs would probably be able to come up with a lot better name than I could. But you throw a hero in. Let's just say you throw a common blah, 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 this, that, or the other. And when you burn them, you get what I would like to call a hero essence. And now, based on your hero, gives you your chance for your essence. So I would say you'd have 3 levels of essence: common, rare, and mythic. So if you throw a common in, your percentage chance of a common essence is 100%. Rare chance is a 30%. And then so on and so forth. Need some big brains to figure out what those percentages would be. So you have a chance to get a rare, common, and mythic essence. And those essence can be used in the alchemist. And the alchemist can create resurrection vials. And you would use those vials to resurrect your heroes. And then depending on what kind of resurrection you want to do on that hero, you might need a common, a rare, or a mythic. And those could have different traits. Like a common, you resurrect, but you're still basically dead because you got no health, this, that, and the other. A rare could be, you resurrect with minimal health, but you resurrect back at the beginning of the dungeon or the PvP instance or whatever the thing may be. Or you could have that mythic resurrection potion, and that could cause you to resurrect with full health right where you left off. These are just some thoughts. Of course, the devs and all that would have better knowledge on how that would affect the gameplay and all that. So I would leave all that up to them. But this is just the starter of the thought. And let's be honest, if they just do decide to do something like this would be way in the future. But I've been thinking a lot about this. And then the alchemist could also use those essence to make something called like a retraining vial. And you could use that to start your leveling all over. So if you have a level 20 hero, you could use that to erase all their levels. Now, I would prefer that it kind of works the same as like when you dark summon, where you have all those levels there, you just got to go back through and redo them all. But I really wouldn't be that opposed if it just poof, the hero's back at level 1 with 0 experience, and you have to relevel them all the way back up. And that could be the same. You have a common, a rare, and a mythic. A common, you could do it, and you start back at level 1, and you got to redo it all over again. You have the common where you get 50% of your levels back, and you just got to go back to the meditation circle and get all those back. And then you could have the mythic, where if you're level 20 and you use a mythic, you get that level 20 back, and you just got to go back to the meditation circle. So that's just my thoughts on that. Of course, team can take it for what it is, use it, throw it away. But I have a feeling with that starter set, they could really put their heads together and make something completely awesome, starting off with that. So with that said, I'm going to end this one here. It was just a quick update on where I'm sitting at. It's been a while since I've updated on how my Legion's doing. So remember.
All right. So I made that, what was that, 5 months ago? That's what I put out there. So I would like to say great minds think a lot alike, but I think I got lucky on that guess. I think that guess was pure luck. But all right, so let's move on. What else did I have on that I wanted to talk about? Oh, let's start off with the upgrading of the stones, crystals, and runes and all that stuff. So I just got to say, my first knee-jerk reaction to when they said this, I might have been cursing at the screen a little bit, okay? But then I let it go filter through the gray matter a little bit, and I decided I do like it. Now, my biggest concern was with the crystals and the stones, not so much the runes, but mostly with the crystals and the stones. I thought at first that was going to completely ruin the market value of them and it was going to crash everything. But after giving it some thought, yeah, I still think it's going to bring the price down on it a little bit. But I think it's actually, with the way everything's set up, I think it's going to keep a pretty high demand on them because I think it's going to be a lot more needed because, with the whole being able to redo your levels and stuff like that, you're not going to want to make too many heroes without good crystals unless you're just making them to burn. Or not good crystals, good stones, unless you're just making them to burn. So I think overall, I think it'll kind of balance out as far as the overall cost and how profitable they are. Is where I think it's going to make a difference is it's going to bring a lot more demand to all the mats that we'll be using to make those lesser stones to level them up with the essence. So that made me kind of happy. So I'm not hating on it. I kind of like it. Now, at first, like I said, I was cursing at the screen. That pissed me off. So what's your guys' thoughts on it? You think it's going to hurt the price too much or you think we're good there? Hey, TuneFed, how's it going? We got Kupo. Howdy, you to TuneFed. Hey, Sir Worm is in here. I think the team watched your stream and just copied you. I wish I could say that, but who knows? But that is one mechanic that I was always thinking about and just thought would really help out overall. So I'm glad. So, all right. So what else? What did I want to talk about next as far as the burn mechanic goes? So I got next as supply and demand. I think I kind of covered that, but I think I more want to talk about it as the burn mechanism of it and the hero population. So, I'm really not sure how much that's going to affect supply and demand as far as the heroes go. Because to be honest with you, already in my head, I'm already looking to see how many heroes that I can summon just to burn. I'm not looking at going to the market to buy heroes just to burn. I might do some of that too, but I really don't think from my gameplay style that the new hero burn mechanic is really going to affect the overall population. So that's kind of my thought on that. Now, as far as supply and demand goes on items, as far as like the runes, the crystals, and all that stuff, boy, that scared the crap out of me. Hey, donate. You got your beeper working. See, you got me a donate in there. Thanks, Donate Live. Or thanks, Two Noobs. I don't know who donated. Let's go check it out. You scared the crap out of me. He got his buzzer working. That was hilarious right there. Ultra Tavern Tales, 60 frost bloaters. All right. Thank you, Ultra. I appreciate it. So, sorry, guys, still got me all jittery. That scared the crap out of me. But yeah, so I think it's going to help the supply and demand as far as crystals, stones, and all that goes, because I see myself doing a lot more summons with stones. And I'm talking more regular and greater stones with this new mechanic that they'll have coming out. I can't wait till it comes out just for that. Because if you think about it, if I put two heroes together, throw a greater stone on him, summon him, and even if it doesn't come out exactly what I want it to be, the stones and all that are still going to help it become a better profession hero. And as I level, I can just level it as a profession hero and redo any kind of levels that I don't like. So I foresee myself using a lot more stones and crystals, and for heroes that I do like, I can go through and I can start using regular crystals or greater crystals on them for each level, because now is all I got to do is just burn the crap out of my garbage heroes to make them. So I think overall that will help with the supply and demand on that. So I think that's what I wanted to talk about with the supply and demand. So I think, yeah, that's all the topics I really had for as far as the roundtable went. You guys have any questions for me? My thoughts on the roundtable and what possibly your thoughts are? If you guys want to share that, that would be awesome. I'm really curious what you guys think as far as a lot of that goes on the roundtable. Now, I do listen about everybody's streams out there, so I have heard quite a bit, but I'm excited about it. I can't wait till it comes. I wish it would come out tomorrow, but we all know it's not going to. So what did I have I wanted to talk about next? What was next on the list? Oh, yeah, Tune Fed. I really loved it too. So next I wanted to talk about the scholarship program that I set up for DeFi Kingdoms and how that's going. Hey, Critter, how's it doing? So now I've been running it for almost 2 months now. I've had King testing a lot of stuff out, and is what I came up with, and I will just kind of get to the gist of where the problem is. So it's not that far off from being profitable. It's not unprofitable by any means. Even if he got 0 equipment drops, it was still able to sustain itself. I did not have to add anything else in there to keep it going. We were able to sell the Mushka runes, the tiers, and everything like that to keep buying enough crystal and gold and all that to keep battling. And he was able, since he was just doing boar hunts, he wasn't using that many health vials. So, that worked out good. But it was basically a wash. There was no profits to be really shared or anything like that. Now, he did get 2 equipment drops, which would have made it very profitable. And maybe if he would have won one of the raffles or something like that, that would have been cool. But my fear with the equipment is there's just not enough demand out there for the normal equipment. Now, of course, if he got an Excalibur, something really cool like that, it would have sold. But the lesser stuff's not selling. So in my mind is what I'm thinking is if I was to do this, the only way I could give them a payout every month would be if I bought the equipment to cover the payouts. So we're still messing with it and seeing what we can do, but I don't foresee the scholarships working out for quite a while until we figure out how to get it profitable. And I don't think that's going to come until the scrub battles show up or profession quests start become a lot more profitable. So I know most people in here aren't looking for scholarships, but a lot of people are curious on how that was working out. Oh yeah, guys, and if you haven't read the disclaimer, this is not financial advice, and that's going to really play effect into this next part that I'm getting ready to go into after this. So, do you guys have any questions about the whole scholarship thing? TuneFed, just a lot to absorb, was a bit overwhelming. Yes, I agree, TuneFed. That was very overwhelming, that round table. So, all right. Give that a few seconds to soak in here. So, next, I want to talk about my predictions in DFK. And this is mostly going to go towards, I get a lot of questions from people asking, why do I say DeFi Kingdoms is so far out from mass adoption? And I'm going to cover a lot of that here today. And this is what I had all ready for last week. I really wish I could have did it last week, but it didn't quite work out. That way I could have focused more on the roundtable this week. So what do we got here? All right. So to start off with my predictions. So I think before DFK becomes really profitable or any of that stuff, the first thing we need is mass adoption. Now, I'm sure a lot of you people agree with mass adoption, that, we really need mass adoption. So first, let's define what I consider mass adoption. And then I want to hear what you guys think you guys consider mass adoption. So I consider mass adoption where we have 1 million plus active daily users. I should say unique active daily users, because, I got 11 wallets that I'm active in every day, but that's not unique active users. So what do you guys think? Do you think 1 million is a small number or a high number? I really think it's a small number considering we are talking about a global audience. Now, I do realize that, DFK and its game style and all that is really niche, and some might think that 1 million users is a little high, but I think 1 million users is pretty adequate. I think that's a good number to shoot for as a beginning to mass adoption. So, what do I think needs to happen to get to 1 million users? So, I do want to talk a little bit about how I think the team's doing first, I guess, because I don't want this to sound like I'm throwing shade on the team at all. But I'm I kind of look at the way the team's building the game and developing. I kind of like to look at it as like the 1% rule. So I'm assuming most people know what the 1% rule means, but a quick summary of what the 1% rule is. The best way I've heard it described outside the actual story of what was that, Italian bicycle team that actually came up with it. But the best way I can think to explain it is if you take a frozen block of ice and you increase the temperature in the freezer 1 degree at a time, you're not going to see any difference until you get to that freezing temperature and start to get 1 degree above it. So all those 1% that you built up, that temperature, didn't do nothing until it all came together. And now all of a sudden you're melting that ice. And once it starts melting, it just keeps melting and melting away until eventually the temperature gets up to where it's boiling and all that stuff. But so I think right now, the way the team's building and going forward with everything, I think they're doing a great job as far as that goes. So let's get back to what I was saying about what I think needs to happen to get to mass adoption. So, I got next. I wanted to talk about the PvP. So I know a lot of people think we are going to get a big influx of people once PvP hits. And I don't want to disagree with that. I think we are going to get an influx of people. I don't think we're going to get a mass adoption level of an influx of people. I think is what we're going to get, and is why I'm so bullish on PvP, is we are going to get a lot of new players, but it's not just going to be like we've been getting new players that come in, they play a little bit, and then they just kind of hang out and play a little bit here, a little bit there. Some we may lose and stuff like that because, there's not really a whole lot going on. But I think with PvP coming, that'll bring in new players and it'll keep them entertained enough to where we can gradually grow with the PvP and we won't be dropping players. Does that make sense? I don't think it's going to bring mass adoption, though. I don't think it's going to get us to that player base that I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to get us to. I do think it's the right next move, though. So what do I think needs to happen to get to mass adoption? Back to that old topic. So I think in order to get to mass adoption, we need a full game loop. So what do I mean by a full game loop? So now I don't know how they're going to play this out, but by the way they're talking about things and different stuff like that, I think a full game loop, and we will start off with, you just start the game, you bought your first hero, it's a level 1 hero. So now you need to go to a starter area on the map. And you start off with some profession quests. And you do those profession quests. Now you got a little bit of jingle in the pocket. So you go out and you buy some cheap equipment. And now that you got some cheap equipment, you can go do some combat. And, I see this as a one little place on the map. to where you travel to and you do this. So now you go and do these little combat battles. You start to get used to how the game plays, how the mechanics work, and then you start getting some item drops. You start building up some levels. And then now now you're at level 5 or level 10, whatever the next area is. And now you're going to go do some traveling. You're going to go over to the next area. And now you're going to start buying and trading. And you're going to continue to travel around the map until you get this all built up. And then you end up at end game. And I think end game right now should be level 20. And then once you get to the end game, that's when you start having your epic battles like hunts, but like the next level of hunts. I still think the hunts based on levels 10, levels 12, let's say the next ones are 15, then 18, 20, however they end up working all that out. You start getting those boss battles in there. That's what I consider a full game loop, where you have full content designed specifically for a starter player all the way up to end game to where you have your expert player. Now, I think that's where we get into a full game loop. Now, that's why I think we are a long ways away from having mass adoption. And I honestly don't think we're going to get there until, I'm guessing, the beginning of 2025. What do you guys think? Where do you guys think we will get to having that full game loop of gameplay? And now keep in mind, I didn't even talk about crafting and all that I think they need to start developing also before we get to that full game loop. So I'm curious on how far out you guys think we are from that. Do you think the beginning of 2025, or not 2025, the end of 2025, beginning of 2026? That's what I got written down, right? I got off my little cheat sheet I made here. Yeah, I got beginning of 2026 is when we will be there. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they want their stuff going up right away, but I think that's what we're looking at. I think we're looking at that far out. So we got no comments on that. You guys don't have a choice. My comment's working. I haven't seen a comment for quite a while. So if you guys could just let me know your little prediction on when you think that'll happen. I think crafting and travel by end of 2026 sometime. So you're thinking even further out than me, huh, TuneFed? So I was thinking the beginning of 2026. You're thinking the end of 2026. But honestly, I think travel needs to happen at the same time scrub battles need to work. I think those need to go hand in hand. Scrub battles and scrub battles and land play. I don't want to call it land play. I want to call it travel. Yeah, travel and scrub battles need to go hand in hand. I would also like to see it where, each area has its own stuff. Hey, two noobs, how's it going? Just let you know your little chime thing worked earlier. Scared the crap out of me when I got a donation. I don't know what y'all did, but you got that working. But yeah, I think you go to the beginning area. I'm gonna call it the beginning area, where you start your scrub hunts. I'm thinking you go there and you do your profession quests, but instead of dropping stuff, the higher level rarity stuff, it starts dropping lower and lower quality stuff until you build up into the next area. And then when you move into the next area of land play, that's when you get that next level of item drops and stuff like that. But I think we're a long ways out. So end of 2026, I think we're pretty close to each other on that one. But I'm thinking more the beginning of 2026, and they are working. Hey, looks like two noobs gave me a 4,000 gold donation. Thank you, two noobs. Appreciate it. Night Guy gave me 4 DMT. Good deal. Thank you guys. I appreciate the donations. Yeah, I know. I know, two noobs. Isn't that funny? Sitting at 199 subs. I can't get just that one more sub to get me over that 200 mark or get me to that 200 mark. But yeah, so I think that's where we're at before we get mass adoption. And what did I have next on the list on here? But no Web3 game has close to 1 million unique wallet addresses at the moment. However, even if we 4 or 5x the player base, the market cap of the game ecosystem will be exponential. Yes, sir, Worm, I agree with you. But honestly, I think we are really close for Web3 to take off, Web3 gaming. I think the beginning of next year, Web3 gaming is going to start to take over. I mean, even if you look at all of the AAA games out there, not all of them, but there's a lot of AAA games out there that are already talking about introducing Web3 aspects and NFTs and all that to their games. And, once you start to see that, it's going to take off. Even if you start to look at a lot of these newer games that are starting to get developed on Web3, of course, we're not there yet and they're not quite at that level, but we are getting a lot closer and closer to games out there developing on Web3 that are equivalent to Web2 gaming. And honestly, I know a lot of people say gamers are afraid of crypto and all that. I think once you get a few gamers out there familiar with it and realize how easy it really is to operate on the crypto wallets and all that, I don't think it's going to take that long for us to get mass adoption into Web3. If that makes sense, Sir Worm. But yeah, I agree with you. Right now, there is not 1 million unique wallet addresses at the moment on Web3. I agree with you. But I don't think we're that far out from getting it, especially by 2026. I can't imagine not being there. But that's just my thoughts. And I could be wrong. We'll find out eventually, won't we? So here's where you got to really read my disclaimer down there, guys. If you haven't seen my little scrolling disclaimer down there, make sure you read that because we're about ready to get into some real speculation that people think I'm giving you financial advice. I ain't giving you shit. I'm just telling you what I think and what I'm doing. And I agree, 2026 is when I think all the major game aspects will have been released, crafting, traveling, guilds, etc. Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about tokens. I'm not going to give you a token value, what I think any token values are going to be worth, but what am I sharing up here? Kupo, thank you for the gold. Ultra Tavern Tales gave me a little bit more gold. I appreciate it. Boy, that giveaway at the end of the month's going to have a lot of gold in there. And guys, don't forget, if you get that totem airdrop, you can always donate some of that back if you have Matic and use that to get into the giveaway for that. Fair, by 2026, there will probably be some Web3 games that have over 1 million addresses. Yeah. I mean, just look at what Axie Infinity is doing. I mean, holy cow. I don't know if you guys are following Axie Infinity, but they have land play and all that going on. Axie Infinity has a lot of stuff going on over there. Wait, this isn't financial advice? Yes, Tavern Tales. like it says down here, if you're tuning in to YouTube to take financial advice from some random idiot, you might want to rethink your strategy. Just so we're clear, I'm here to share my thoughts and what I am doing, not to manage your portfolio. What's the Totems reward code? It's ZAN, just ZAN. Yeah, and you guys get that airdrop. And like I said, if you don't want to use Totems, to be honest with you, that airdrop, I think that's worth like 5 cents or something like that. It's not a whole lot, but then you add that 10,000 in there. And plus, I'm a big believer in Dragon Masters, and I think Dragon Masters is going to take off pretty big. But it's another way to increase your chances. And plus, guys, anybody that does claim the airdrop, you're going to get an automatic entry into the monthly prize pool of, I have not figured out what I'm going to give away this month, but I'll give away something kind of cool. And everyone that claims the airdrop will get a chance to enter that also, will automatically be entered for that. So that's exciting. No, Tavern Tales, I have not looked into Backwoods at all yet. To be honest with you, I got so much on my plate right now because is what I'm dealing with right now, and I'll kind of explain it to you. So, of course, I got DeFi Kingdoms, and I do not see DeFi Kingdoms going anywhere. I got a lot going on in Dragon Masters right now, building that all up, trying to get Zan's Meta Army scholarships built back up. And then on top of that, I'm trying to find a manager and everything for over there. And then I'm also starting to look into Rebel bots because I have a lot of land and bots over there. And I got to get that figured out and how all that works because I have, a few $1,000s invested in there. I know it's not a lot, but I don't want to just go to waste, and they're getting ready to take back off. I have probably $20,000 to $30,000 invested in Axie Infinity, and I still have all those assets, and I need to get that scholarship built back up and get them playing because I hear that's starting to become profitable again. And then on top of that, I'm also looking into Klaytn Arena. Well, it's just Klaytn World now, but I think I'm about ready to drop that one. They got too many gimmicks and crap going on over there. I've been looking into Spellborn, and Backwoods is on my radar, but I have not started dealing with it yet. And then plus I got Undead Blocks on the list to look into also. Just because, during the last bull market, I really liked what the team was doing over there. I really liked the guys. So, and unfortunately, they got hit with the same problems everybody else did in the bear market. So, yeah, I got a lot going on, but Backwoods is on the list, but it's not, unfortunately, it's way down on the list. Tavern Tales. Gotcha. Yeah. That's tough having so much already on your plate. Hard to add more on top of what you got. Yeah, I got way too much going on. I need to get my management in place and all that back over in Zan's Meta Army to start managing all those scholars for me. I think King's going to end up with a lot of free time here soon, so that'll help out. But all right. Any other questions before I get into my thoughts on the different tokens within the game? Because I do have that I want to look into. Sir Worm, thank you for the donation. Kupo, thank you for the donation. We got 5,000 gold from Kupo, and we got 69 from Sir Worm. Awesome. And then I'm assuming we got a lot of airdrops coming in also. Those are kind of harder to get to look at. But all right, so let's get into my thoughts on the different tokens. So let's start out with Jewel. And I know a lot of you people that are holding Jewel are going to hate me for saying this. I do think Jewel value is going to go up. I don't think it has any choice but to go up. But I don't think that's going to be our big gains is Jewel. Because let's think about it. What does Jewel really have as far as usability within the game? Gas. It does have gas, and you can stake it and a couple other things. But my thoughts are, and I go off of how I play the game. So I buy Jewel, I sell Jewel for crystal, and then I use that crystal to buy heroes. So I keep a little bit of Jewel, but I use all my Jewel to do other things in the game. So I do see Jewel going up, but I do not see that as a big gains item. I don't see that as where I'm going to make my money from. So I am holding Jewel, but it is the smaller portion of what I'm holding within DFK. Now, Crystal, I kind of look at the same way, except for it does have more use cases, but it's not really like a supply and demand thing, because you buy Crystal just so you can buy things in the game or use it to craft things in the game and stuff like that. And I know there's automatically burn mechanics built in there and all that stuff. I get that. But again, I don't think it's going to be the big gainer. So now I do hold a fair amount of crystal. I hold actually more crystal than I hold Jewel. I think crystal will have better gains than Jewel will, if that makes sense to you guys. And I am not no professional at none of this, but I am holding crystal. So gold. My thoughts on gold is I am really bullish on gold, just because there are so many things in the game you can use gold for. But again, it's something you get just so you can spend. It's not really something you get to hold. And the only way token values really go up is either through burning or holding. Now, or not burn, you have to either be buying or it has to be being burnt. You have to have buy pressure or burning it. I don't foresee a whole lot of buy pressure on gold, just because I can farm a lot of gold. All right. Let's see what we got here. Dr. J. Speculators will pump Jewel if they're well, I can't read. Speculators will pump Jewel if things do go up. Most don't care about the game, but speculators may pump Jewel like in December. I agree, but I also think like in December, it just went back down after the speculation went away. I don't think it's going to continue to keep climbing forever. I think we're going to have a lot of pumps, and I don't think it's going to be at 15 cents or whatever it is right now forever. I do see it going up, and I do think, don't hold me to this, but I'm guessing Jewel will probably go up in the next bull to probably about a $5 mark. And that is a huge gain, but I don't think it's the same gains we're going to see from other stuff within the game. Does that kind of make sense with you, Dr. J, or do you think it's going to go a lot higher than $5 in the next bull? Do you think it's one of those coins that's going to go back up to, what was it, 25, 30 bucks or whatever it was before, $1 million? I don't even remember what it was last time. It was way up there from where it is now, but I don't see Jewel as something that's going to continue to be more and more value. And it's definitely not something that you can earn off of. I mean, I guess you could in the LPs and the gardens and stuff like that. And from what do you call that? The staking it. I see your point. I am diversified within DFK to take profit someday. Yes, Dr. J, and I have holdings in almost everything within the game myself, just because I don't even trust my own speculations. But yeah, gold I think is going to kind of be the same thing. And now we're going to get into where I think the real money is going to be. And that is going to be in the heroes. We'll start off with the heroes. I think the real money in the game is going to be the heroes. Now, I don't think it's going to be all heroes. I don't think it's going to be your average heroes, but I think where the heroes are going to make their money is by what they can do within the game, and you're going to get those daily profits out of having those heroes. And that's where you're going to make the money off the heroes. I don't think the big gains are necessarily. Here, why don't I share you guys what my little sheet looks like here? Ooh, that's awful bright and white. But yeah, I do see heroes as being one of the big gains and where the money's going to be. And that's probably why I'm trying to build up to that 10,000 heroes. Now, I don't think your common pirate, we'll just use pirate, your common pirate miner is going to be worth thousands of dollars. I think your pirate miner is going to be worth maybe $2 or $3, your common pirate miner that's level 1. But after a year of that miner mining nonstop through whether it's expeditions or you have a bot doing it for you, once everything takes off in this game and we do have mass adoption and all these items do become valuable of some sort, and new items come in the game for these heroes to do, and plus we got crafting on top of that, and we have a lot of stuff about that. I think that's where you're going to get the value out of them. And then you're going to have your PvP heroes, and they're going to go win that $1 million prize pool from doing PvP. Okay, maybe $1 million might be a little exaggerated, but why not go crazy with it? Sticks intern, hey, good to see you in here. What about my legendary seer I just summoned earlier in the regular portal for eventual CDE value? I don't know, Sticks intern. I can't speculate on that. But a legendary seer with a regular summon, and considering I didn't want to mention this earlier, but regular summoned heroes with the new burn mechanic are more valuable than dark summoned heroes. I don't know if you guys caught on to that, or maybe I read it wrong. SI is seeing things with divine essence. Yes. But Zan, you're my financial analyst. Yeah, there you go. Am I working on your portfolio there, Sticks intern? You did see my disclaimer down there. Is that legitimate? Will that stand up in a court of law? Just wondering. Oh, Brovia, hey, good to see you. You think my laugh's evil? It can be some days. Depends on how you look at it. But yes, I think heroes are going to be the big one. So let's move into pets. Jay Dubs, haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you in here. Well, I see you in guild chat all the time. Hell, if I know, I couldn't offer advice on that unless you paid me. All right, I'll send you a couple gold later. It is a payment. Might not be worth anything, but it is a payment. So, pets. Now, I know a few of you guys out there probably know I've been buying pets like crazy lately. I think I bought over the last couple weeks almost 6,000 different pets. And I'd say 60 to 70% of those pets are clutch collectors. Now, I'm risking a lot, hoping that they do not start dropping eggs like crazy again in the future. But I think in the future, pets are going to be big. I think that's going to be a big play for a lot of people. And if I can hold a good portion of clutch collectors and I'm getting egg drops like crazy, now I can now make more pets. I can sell those eggs. I can do a lot of different things with those eggs. Tavern Tales, odd pet variants. Oh, you're not going to like me, Tavern Tales, because I know how you feel about those. I'm not one that cares about cosmetics, and I'm not sure how they can add variants into gameplay at all. But I do definitely think there will be a market out there somewhere for them. I think it's going to be such a small niche of a market. It's not something I would want to mess with trying to sell off to people. I hope that don't upset you too much. I still want some good deals on some more pets. But I'm just saying, that's my thoughts. It's not my thing, and I can't. If it's not something I would be willing to buy, it's not something I'd be willing to invest in. You know, how do they say that? If you plan to go into business, make sure you understand the business that you're planning on going into. And cosmetics is not something I understand. But I definitely do think there's a market out for it. But I would do an awful job as someone trying to buy and sell pets with variants. So you got some thoughts on the different variants on how to add that into gameplay? Well, that'd be something I'd like to hear about, because I would love to see more different kind of gameplay, as long as it doesn't distract the team from what they got going on. But yeah, if you could add utility into the odd variants, then that's something I could get more into. But right now, with the way it is, I can't see it working for me. But I think pets are going to be big in the future. I think we're a long ways out because we have so many damn eggs and all that stuff to get hatched. And then we also still need to get some better burn mechanics in for pets, which I do believe they're coming up with it here soon. All right. Next I got on the list is Swift Thistle. I have a hard time pronouncing that. I slur it. Swift Thistle. But I think the pump on Swift Thistle is a very short-term pump. I don't think it's going to hold. I actually quit making stam pots and selling my Swift Thistle just because I think they're going to fix it and they're going to have a way to where that's going to start to be farmed, especially when expeditions come out. So my play right now on Swift Thistle is I'm just selling it as quick as I get it. I come from a background of Pokemon, which has shiny pets, which are similar to odd pets. There's a big market around the shiny Pokemons. So I foresee the odd pets to be big in that way as well. That'd be awesome. If there's a way to increase the value on them, Tavern Tales, I want it to go up and I want you to make a lot of money. It's just not something I can see myself marketing in. Same way as, I'm allergic to 90% of perfumes out there, so I wouldn't go into the market of selling perfume. It's a niche, which I'm happy to ape into, LOL. I'm a collector at heart. There you go, Tavern Tales. That's the way to look at it. I'm a hoarder at heart. I don't do very good at collecting when it comes to like valuable stuff. But yeah, so that's Swift Thistle. What else did I have on here? Runes. So runes, mainly what I want to talk about is Moshka runes, and this was set before they did their roundtables, and I found out that they were going to add that into the whole burn mechanic. Now I was going to say runes at some point are going to go way down in value because they won't be as rare. Once more and more heroes get to level 20 and are farming a lot more Moshka runes, they're not going to need to use them, so then they're going to be selling them, and that's going to cause a lot of sell pressure on runes. So for me, I should be selling my runes, but I'm trying to level my heroes, so I'm not selling them. I'm using them for leveling. And then, items in general. So items in general, I think, like all the different items you get from your profession quests, I think they're going to go up a fair amount just because there's going to be more use for them. And I am holding a lot of different items, but I don't think items are going to be a holding play. I think items are going to be a use play. I think items are going to become a very strategic part in the future of, okay, I have so many of all these different items. How can I get the most value out of them? If I craft this sword, I will get this much for it. Or if I craft this wand, I'll get so much for it. Or if I craft these potions, I'll get so much for it. I think items are going to be a very strategic play in the future. I think their individual value is not going to be that much, but what they can be crafted into and be used for is where the real value for the items is going to come from. So I am holding a lot of items and I am selling a lot of items as well. I'd say it's about a 50-50 mix of what I hold and what I sell. And now with everything that I am holding within the game, if you guys are wondering, no, I am not profitable. I add money into the game every week just so I can get these items and get all these different things, the different heroes, the different pets and all that stuff. So what's your guys' thoughts on items? That is something I was curious about, what other people are thinking about as far as items go. So go ahead and let me know what you think about that. So what do we got next? Equipment. Equipment's a very tough one for me. I had a totally different outlook on equipment until they started talking about the essence and all that stuff, and you could bring your equipment back to life after completely killing it. So I'm still randling that in my head on what I think about equipment, if it's a good thing or not. Combat potions did not make a big dent in item profitability. No, Dr. J, I think we have way too many items out there to where it's going to take a long time before we dwindle that away. And then not on top of that, if I wanted to craft all my own potions for combat, and I don't do a lot of combat, but King does a lot of combat for me, I can easily just craft anything I want. I don't have to go buy any items or do any of that to get what I want. I think the potions are a big help, but definitely, I never thought it was going to correct anything. Frost bloaters can't wait for blow. There you go, Tavern Tales. Yeah, right now I'm hoarding a whole lot of frost bloaters. I'm hoarding items for potential crafting opportunities. Yes, Kupo, I think you and me are on the same page with crafting. That's what we're all excited about. I cannot wait for crafting. I didn't have a strong opinion on items. I have a set of most of them hardened that I just bought with small amounts of jewel in case they go up. Yeah, and I'm stockpiling a lot of items also just in case they go up. Like, I think I got, a couple million bloaters and frost bloaters just sitting there waiting, and kind of excited for blow to come out because I might actually be able to do something with them, even if it's just sell them. Also, Dr. J repositions. I think it's really difficult to say how impactful the potions are because of the 4x potion stimulus. I haven't even worked through mine yet. Yeah, Sticks intern. I think actually now that you mentioned that, I think I'm still working through a lot of the potions that I had with those potion crates also. But I don't do much combat, nowhere near as much as you guys do. So it'll take me forever to go through them. But King's starting to burn through them pretty decent. But yeah, I don't think that's going to, like I said, I think it's going to be a strategic play in the future as far as items go and what's going to be the best use for them. Now, equipment, I kind of want you guys' opinion on equipment. I went through mine a while ago. I have bought probably 1K since then. Yeah, but J-Dubs, don't you do like 5 million hunts a day? That's my thoughts. And also I don't remember what your army looks like, but I have a pretty large army. I can craft all the potions I want to cover the the 3 I do a day. My about 100 hunts a week, I do craft my potions and I see the utility, but I still need to put new cash in for gas. My farming does not keep my activities sustained without new capital. Yeah. Most equipment will probably be of minimal value. The best equipment will be outrageously priced. Yes, Sticks intern, I agree with you. But I think that outrageously priced might have dropped down a little bit now that you can, what do they call that, restore your equipment? I mean, you take that Scally's eye, now that Scally's eye can last forever if you can just keep restoring it. Now it's going to cost you a whole bunch of dust to do that. But, does that bring more value to the Scally's eye or does it reduce it? So you think it's going to increase the value because now you can keep it longer as to before. And see, that's where I keep going back and forth on it. Because I was thinking the equipment value was going to go way down because, it had limited use case. But here's my thought. Now let's take Scally's eye out of it and let's add other equipment in there, not the rare equipment, but the average equipment. Not the super low value, but let's just say the average equipment. Is that going to, where's that going to go? Are we just going to end up farming so much that the value is just going to keep dropping down? Because that's where I was going before, is the values were going to go down, but they had the burn mechanic, so that was going to keep them kind of more needed. Right, the average equipment will be of minimal value. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm leading right now, is it's going to be of minimal value. a few bucks. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, I think like, a lot of your equipment right now that we're getting, I don't think it's going to sustain value once more gameplay and all that comes out. And we have people out there like J Dubs just farming the crap out of equipment, getting, 10 different pieces a day. J Dubs loves it because his fifth Excalibur won't die as quick. Yeah, what are you on, J Dubs? You're on 3 Excaliburs now, aren't you? You got pants today? All right. Oh, were you the one there they were doing that meme for, the guy flipping into the pants? That meme is hilarious. Just 2? Oh, okay, just 2. I thought you got a third one. But yeah, so I mean, equipment, I think it's going to be a case by case thing. I think some of it's going to be it's going to turn into a little bit of a collector's item. It's going to go more towards like your odd variants and stuff like that. Kupo, nice. Oh yeah, about the pants. So I think that was all that was on my list. Well, I got through this a lot quicker than I thought I was going to get through this today. Maybe I didn't ramble too much. What else you guys want to talk about, or we can end it, or if you guys got any questions for me. And remember, all this is not financial advice. I'm just letting you know my thoughts and how I'm investing. I'm holding a little bit of everything, but the majority of my holdings are within heroes and pets. So, what are your guys' thoughts? What's your favorite things to hold? What are you guys really holding out there? If you had to pick one item in the game, what is your real holding item? That's what I'm curious about. I want to know what everybody else is holding. Yeah, I think Tavern Tales, we know he's after the odd variants. J Dubs, Gen Zeros. You really want to know my opinion on Gen Zeros, J Dubs? Dr. J was Moshkas. Yeah, I'm holding no long-term value in Moshkas. I think they are a good thing, but I think long-term they're not going to sustain. Once levels 20 through 30 come out, they're just going to crash down like the Shabazz runes. And then about 1,000 other heroes. I guess because I have a slate of Gen Zeros. Oh, and those about 1,000 other heroes. Kupo, mostly what I've been gathering up myself while trying to raise an army of crafters. Yeah. So honestly, guys, as far as Gen Zeros go, I really don't know what to think long term on those. I think for what they're worth or what they cost and what they're going to be worth in the future, I don't know if the gains are quite there. But I do like the consistent income flow you can get off of it. So I mean, it's interesting. My problem is I don't know how to think about Gen Zeros, and that's probably why I've held off from buying them so long. But I think I am getting ready to start purchasing some. Brovia, rare ass heroes. There you go, Brovia. Hey, Sergeant Filthy McNasty swung by to say hi. How's it going, Sergeant? Good to see you in here. So I don't know what to think honestly about Gen Zeros. I am going to get some because I don't have any. And honestly, they're really not that expensive. I mean, I guess that depends on how much you got to spend, but I don't think long term. I can't see long term for being that value. But I do like the consistent, the 10 out of 10s, and I think in the future those 10 out of 10s will be worth a lot. So agree, they are rare. Sergeant says they are rare. There you go, Barovia. Sergeant says they're rare ass heroes, so you need to get some. Gen Zeros are a simple thesis. The game will continually add new value to heroes, either through fun or burn mechanics. So their ability to infinitely make new heroes will always have value. Yeah, and I agree with you. That's where I kind of go back and forth on it. They will always have value based on the fact that they can constantly produce new heroes, but them themselves, will their value go up in the market? I definitely think, and I think when we have mass adoption, I can't imagine any Gen Zeros for selling for less than 10K. That's just my opinion. But would my investment in other things right now make more sense than the Gen Zeros? So that's kind of more where I'm struggling with it on Sticks Intern. Is that where I want to put my money right now? A good matching pair is important, though. Not all pairs are equal. Yeah, Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Definitely agree with you there. Yeah, I like them as a productive asset, Sticks Intern says. Yes. Buy one live right now, Zan. They're below 1K USD. Did they actually drop below 1K? That's funny. To be honest with you, Brovia, I don't know if I could add 1K into the game right now because I just shifted all my assets out of my Coinbase account again. And I don't know if you guys know how that works, but in Coinbase, if you don't have a balance in there, you can't send out more. It won't automatically buy to fill it. Yeah, I get your point, Zan, and it's a very good point. I definitely think there are higher alpha returns on other assets, but I don't want to take that. Yeah. And my thing is where I keep going back and forth on the Gen Zeros is, if you look at the last bull market, I made a killing on Zed Run because I bought a whole bunch of Genesis horses when they came out. Now, I sat on those things for what, a year and a half before the game actually became playable. And I bought all those. I can't remember. I think there was when they minted, I think they were $1,100. Or no, the first mint was 800, and then the second mint I think was 1,100. And then, I sold them all off for, I think the cheapest one I sold off was almost 20K, and the rest I sold off for well over 50K. So, I do fear I'm going to miss that in the next bull if it goes up, because I mean that's what I've been playing on for a long time here. Sticks Intern, that's hilarious. Hey, what happened to the prize pool? But hey guys, I also got a new Gen Zero. That is funny. Oh, I love it, Sticks Intern. Yes, was a scholar for 975 an hour ago. That's cool. And I kind of curious on how the scholar is going to play out. I kind of like scholars. I take it back. The prize pool was just returned. Well, that's awful nice of that guy to return the prize pool. I suspect things may change when votes take place. I don't really think the votes are going to change the value of the Gen Zeros, to be honest with you, Sergeant. I mean, yeah, it's gonna change your production rate, which is gonna reduce how much you make off of them, but I don't think it's gonna change how much they're worth. That made me laugh in real life. Yeah, Sticks intern, that was freaking hilarious. What happened to the prize pool? Yeah, I do need to look at getting some Gen Zeros though, because I don't want to miss out. Yeah, I think they crash or rise if the cooldown is extended. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think we might see a little bit of a decline and then back up again. I think that's what you're trying to say there, Sticks. Intern is a little bit of a crash, then a rise back up. Hot take. Tell me more. Hot takes. We don't do hot takes on here, Sarge. That's your streams. I can't wait to see your stream tomorrow night. That's going to be fun. And congratulations on what is it? Dude, I can't remember. What are we telling you congratulations for, Sarge? Remind me. Or you got something going on tomorrow. I know I can't wait to see KP's stream tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how that all works out. $100th episode. That's what I thought it was, but couldn't remember. Congrats on the 100th episode there, Sergeant Filthy McNasty. That's awesome. Wizards get swept hard. Only 3 mythics and a legendary left on the tavern. Go check latest talk, DeFi Kingdoms site, newest AMA question. All right, you want me to open up Discord? So the let's talk one. You know, I stay out of this Discord. Probably should hang out in here more. The let's talk. Where is let's talk? Oh. Well, why can't I find the let's talk? Probably should spend more time in here so I know what's going on. Where is let's talk? Can I search it? Oh no, that don't do nothing. Let's talk. Hey, you're talking about where they do the AMA questions. Well, yeah, I guess that's what you said in there actually, huh? Well, why can't I find the let's talk? Rules, PvP, void hunts. Side quest, commander. Hero, tavern sales. Well, I can't find it. What does it say? Just put it in chat and I'll look it up there. Yeah, sorry, he's coming on to talk blow. I can't wait. Tell me you've never submitted an AMA query without telling me you've never. Oh, I've never put an AMA query in there. I'll be honest with you. This is pure cinema. Hey, Kevin Porter, good to see you in here. Yeah, I stay away from them dirty sites. They talk bad things in the DFK Discord. What was the Let's Talk AMA question? I can't seem to find it. That's crazy. Huh. I don't even know how to spell AMA. Sticks and turn. Brovia broke Zan. Yeah, I think he did. So, what was the question? I want to know what the question was. Now you got me all curious. Trying to give me something to talk about. Now you give me something to talk about. I just went over there and searched for nothing. I never could find it. Oh, you're talking about the website. I thought it was one of the channels in the Discord. I haven't. Ow. All right. Sarge sent me the link. AMA questions. I don't know what you're talking about here. Yeah, I got it, Sarge. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got the website. Sarge sent it to me. I went to Let's Talk. You want me to go over all these questions? You crazy? So, all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about now that you made me look like a fool looking for all that? I do appreciate it, Sarge, for sending that to me. I think I had that saved somewhere, but no, I haven't been there forever. I don't know if I've even ever been there because that just does not look familiar to me the way that works. No, he just wanted you to cover the newest one about the hero path. Oh, okay. In light of the most recent news regarding the new hero burn mechanic, the team has now clearly expressed that there are two types of heroes and that each type of hero gets different rewards based on how they were summoned. Oh, I see where you're going. Identify heroes on Gaia's army and those touched by the void. You know, that is something I was thinking about, is the whole, dark summoning, throwing them in the pit, putting them in the void army versus summoning them, or now the new burn mechanic. Now you're sending them to fight on the Gaia's army. So I love it. That's just more lore. So now the real question is there also tracking how much each wallet is burning in the pit? So is that automatically going to give you an alliance with the void versus if you're doing all your burning through the other pit, sending them to Gaia, is that going to give you reputation with Gaia. Now, I think that could add a whole nother aspect to the game, and I think that would be awesome. Unfortunately, I definitely do not have a whole lot that I sent off to the Void. Yeah, I definitely think we're going to have all different kinds of tournaments. Brovia wants not wins. But the only way to make sure it happens is to sponsor the tourney yourself. Yeah, Sticks Intern, I agree with you. And that's why I said that, you know, I don't think that the team is going to have full control over the tournaments. I think that, you know, whoever's sponsoring the tournament is going to decide a lot of that. And I think a lot of people misunderstood me when I said that. I will have to buy more heroes if it's answered as separate tournaments. I think there's going to be separate tournaments, but I don't think it's going to be based on any of the path type stuff that, I mean, I don't know, maybe. Void Squad. You going to rename it there, Sticks Intern, to the Void Squad instead of the Mythic Squad? I get a few nice Void heroes now and then. Brovia, you've been throwing them in the pit, huh? You've been turned. Yeah, Void heroes, Dark Summoned heroes. That I mean, if the new burn mechanic's going to be all about, you know, you're sending the army to Gaia, and now Gaia has an army she needs to fight against, or whoever needs to fight against, would that not mean that the Dark Portal would be those heroes? I mean, that just makes sense in my mind. Void touched heroes is how team described them. Yeah, I think they did talk about that in there too. I think they did mention void touched heroes. Yeah, now that you mentioned that. Dark summoned is a dirty phrase, Brovia. Brovia is converted. He said he's starting to dark summon a lot more heroes. I started dark summoning a lot more too, because I've started building some heroes that just are complete garbage. So I've been trying to get rid of them. But now I'm holding them. I want to wait and see what happens. Void touched heroes go to the Void Army. Team Sith. There you go, Sticks Intern. I think it'll be interesting. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, there is a lot of lore, and I think with this new burn mechanic and the way they're talking about it, it's going to bring so much lore into the game. I'm excited. Void Squad is a pretty cool name. There you go. Brovia, you going to start your own guild now? You're with the Internal Zenith, aren't you, Brovia? You better copyright that. What are you talking about? I just bought the domain. Just kidding. I quit buying domains a long time ago. I used to just buy up domains like crazy and resell them. Read the whole question, Zan. All right. Whoa, holy shit. Gaia's army, those touched by the void, provide 2 paths for the hero to go down. Good and evil. Now, we don't really know which one's good or evil. We assume Gaia would be the good, as it were due to nature of this new information. Can we expect separate sponsored tournaments? For example, a Gaia's only tournament or a void touched only tournament? Or will both types of heroes be competing against each other? I think there'll be all three. I think there will be Gaia's and void touched, and I think they'll be competing against each other. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're truly into PvP and you think you got the best team, you're not going to care who you go up against. And then you're going to have people that are going to want to do it separate. I think there's going to be all different kinds. Having two separate sponsored tournaments would provide incentive to ensure players would want to have the best heroes of both types. I do like that though. That will give incentives for that. While many heroes will transcend into the army of Gaia, not all follow that path. The Void plan comes more into fruition as those heroes that have felt his touch are pulled into his army instead, leaving behind void shards in addition to seemingly reduced amount of divine essence, perhaps absorbed by the void. Not all heroes are created equal indeed. Heroes with minimal atonement to Gaia in themselves leave minimal amount of essence and crystals behind as they transcend, while those heroes most experienced and favored by Gaia proven a bounty. Only heroes touched by the void produce void shards, which replace greater divine essence rewards. And those heroes also provide half as much divine essence. The first phase private matches include optional to customize fight requirements and add wagers. Following that will be an automated tournament system where we will host ongoing tournaments with lucrative prize pools. Finally, the third phase adds to that system and allows anyone to create and host their own tournaments with their own requirements and prizes. Future to the Medium article about PvP. So I think as far as tournaments go, I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to be whatever people are going to go for. Yes, it was a book there, TuneFed. Hey, yeah, we got a new page 10. Hey Sarge, what happened to you creating your page lore? You had them all read out there by the AI or whatever that was you were using. I think you were using, what was that, 11 labs? You stopped after like page 2 or 3. What happened there? I was thinking about taking that up on you and finishing those off. Or did I miss them? But yeah, I got a question for you guys as far as tournaments go. Where do you guys think these prize pool funds are going to come from when we have these tournaments? Who do you think is going to be funding these prize pools? Yeah, sorry, Sarge. I didn't mean to call you out. That was kind of rude. I have them saved but not launched. There you go. Bigger rug than missing 10 page. Metas has committed some and the great deal to funding early ones. Yeah, I think at the beginning, there's going to be different tournaments. The Metis has some. I think DFK is going to fund some. I think some of the guilds are going to fund some. But in the future, after all that goes out, where do you think they will really come from? I'm talking about the big prize pools. That's proven. Oh, Mythic Squad sponsor them. That's proven. Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to come from that. SI's jealous because he thinks he's the only one who calls me out. EME project, to be honest. Yeah, I like doing those little projects. I need to get back on my projects like that because I got a bunch that I need to do. Like Zan, I cannot begin to predict where they will come from because it will shock even the most optimistic bulls. Yeah, I'm just curious where they're going to come from. You know, like I mentioned earlier, I was big in Zed Run. You know, they had Stellar Artois. They put up prize pools. I think they put up like $500,000. They got Budweiser in there. They got Atari in there. You know, they got some huge sponsors in there that put up some really big prize pools. And I'm wondering if DFK is going to be able to do some stuff like that. Depends on success. If there's enough success, sponsors will show. Yes, sir, Worm. That's what I'm hoping for. I want some big ass sponsors in there. A Layer Zero sponsorship. There you go, Sarge. Let's get Layer Zero in there. I honestly want to see sponsors come from outside of the cryptoverse. You know, like Brovia, he's talking right here. Mountain Dew. You know, let's get Mountain Dew in there. Let's get some of that stuff. Chippy, hey Chippy, how's it going? So, what else you guys want to talk about? I was kind of expecting a 2-hour stream this week because I had a lot I wanted to cover, but boy, I burned through that stuff pretty quick. But you guys kept me entertained here. I love these topics we've been talking about here. Yeah, I want a Taco Bell sponsorship where something mind blowing to use would be a rounding error of them. Yeah, mind blowing to us. We need an entertainment spin outside of game. Fake Bogside Mythic Squad drama is captivating. Yeah, all of our fake drama is fun, but it's all kept within ourselves. I would fight like hell for lifetime Taco Bell supply. There you go, TuneFed. When I can retire from day job. Oh, for void side chats. There you go, Sticks intern. There, you're getting you're getting what do you call that? You're getting encouraged to start your Void Guild, Void Touch Guild, Void Side. So, all right, guys. I think we're getting ready to wrap it up here, unless you guys got some other stuff you guys want to talk about. But yeah, that's been fun. I really enjoyed these last few minutes talking about all this, people. People try to get me to do another weekly show pretty frequently, and I just can't. Yeah, I agree, Sticks intern. It is hard. How about the voting and how you can see how much C-Jewel these whales have? Holy crap. Well, Brovy, I talked about that a few weeks ago. Only 10% of the community out there is actually going to make a difference in the voting. The rest of us don't matter. You know, I looked at what my voting power was compared to some of these guys, you know, and I'm almost up to 8,000 heroes, and I do have 3,000 jewels staked. I think it was 3,300. I don't remember what it was, but you know, so I got a pretty good voting power, but I was nothing compared to those guys. You know, I completely disagree with the voting altogether, but that's just me. And to be honest with you, I think the voting's kind of fun as long as you're looking at it as a fun thing, anyways. So that's my thought on votings. So, all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys all showing up and hanging out with me tonight. It's been a blast. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Give me a like and all that stuff. And as always, do not forget to keep moving forward.